G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are here for the review of opening round. Now unfortunately a couple of games were delayed, of course, so there is only a couple of games to review, but of course with the first official review of the season, the Boundary Riders votes have returned. We will be giving a 3-2-1 voting system. We'll get to that throughout the video, so let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get to the first game, Sydney v Hawthorn. We started at the SCG, and despite Sydney making the grand final last year, Hawthorn were the talk of the town in the end. The Hollywood Hawks ran out winners by 20 points. 96 to Hawthorn, 76 to the Swans. Now, there were a couple of injury concerns from this game. One to James Worpel. He injured his ankle in the second term, got caught under a Sydney player in a tackle, and he was subbed off at half-time. According to reports after the game, it is suspected to be a syndesmosis injury. Now, until scans are revealed, it's really unknown as to the return of James Worpel. It could be 2 to 3 weeks, but he also could miss the majority of the season, depending on the severity. So it's just a wait and see, unfortunately, there for Hawthorn fans. And for Sydney, Taylor Adams had some hamstring tightness in the final term and didn't return to the field. However, with his recent history of soft tissue injuries, I think the Swans will definitely take the cautious approach on this. So I'd expect a couple of weeks out for Taylor Adams. But let's get to the game itself. It was a very high-scoring first quarter with 9 goals between the teams and was an entertaining game to watch. However, the Hawks did have a lot more territory but couldn't capitalise on that until halfway through the second term, when Hawthorn were able to open up a 20-point lead heading into half-time. The Swans started to work their way back into the game in the third quarter, kicking 4 of the first 5 goals to give themselves a real chance of being back in the contest, only being down by 5 points at three-quarter time. But Sydney were wasteful early in the final term and Hawthorn made them pay on the counter. And in the end, the Hawks kicked the only 3 goals of the final term to run out winners by 20 points. A great win from Hawthorn. When you think of Hawthorn's forward line, you think of Mabior Chol, Ginnivan, Watson. However, neither of those 3 really stood up at all tonight. It was a lot more of James Sicily going down there late and their midfielders doing really well. We'll get to them in a minute. But Hawthorn did really well. Sydney, it is the new era under Dean Cox. I'm still concerned about Tom McCartan. He didn't really have a great performance tonight. Granted, it wasn't exactly the environment for a tall forward. However, the one thing that Tom McCartan I thought would bring to the forward line was his competitiveness, and he really didn't bring that tonight. A lot of easy intercept marks for the Hawthorn defenders, and they really ruled the roost down there. So, good win from Hawthorn. A great start to their season. Sydney, still a lot of question marks in the early stages of Dean Cox's tenure. Now, getting to the goals in this game, multiple goal kickers. Joel Amati and Chad Warner with the multiple for Sydney. Amati with 3, Warner with 2. And for Hawthorn, Will Day, 3 goals. Dylan Moore with the 2, and Lloyd Meek with the 2 as well. Looking at the disposal counts, top of Sydney, both 26 is Matt Roberts and Nick Blakey. 21 to Warner and Heaney, and Jordan had the 20. On Hawthorn's side, leading disposal getter on the ground, it's Carl Amon with the 27. Day with the 26, Nash with the 20 along with James Sicily, and John Newcomb with the 19. Looking at the top 5 for each team on the AFL fantasy front, Sydney's top scorer was Matt Roberts with the 104, Warner with the 92, Blakey with the 90, Heaney with the 80, and 76 to Jake Lloyd. And then for Hawthorn, top scorer of the whole match was Will Day with the 129, Lloyd Meek with the 109, Amon with the 107, Scrimshaw with the 85, and then James Sicily with the 81. But before we move into the votes, let's get a quick explanation on how you guys can get involved with the Boundary Riders medal in 2025. How the members vote works for you guys. For the review in 2025, a 3-2-1 voting system is awarded for every single game of the AFL season on the channel. And each round, players who receive 3 votes in the game have a chance to get a bonus vote. I will decide the 4 best players from the round who will enter a poll exclusive for channel members to vote on, and the winner of that poll will receive the bonus vote for the round, the members vote. And at the end of the 2025 AFL season, every vote counts. So this is your chance to have your say on the 3rd ever Boundary Riders medalist. So if that appeals to you, or if you just want to show some extra support on the channel, then make sure to click the channel membership link down below and join in the fun. But for now, let's get back into the video. Now let's get to the first official votes of the season. 3 votes went to Will Day, 2 votes went to James Sicily, 1 vote went to Lloyd Meek. Now, Day was tagged in the second half and didn't have as much of an impact he did in the first half, but 3 goals and 26 disposals. You can't do much more than that as a midfielder in the modern age. Brilliant performance from Will Day, deserved the 3 votes. James Sicily may surprise a few people to get 2 votes. Had a brilliant first half down back, intercepting, but then didn't really have a lot to do in the third quarter, but in the last quarter, I think dragged them over the line when he moved up forward. Kicked a goal to seal the game. Brilliant performance from James Sicily. He would have been close with the 3 votes in the first half. However, in the second half, I think he did taper off a little bit, hence the 2 votes. And Lloyd Meek, he dominated in the first half in the ruck, which really set up the win for the Hawks, hence why he got the 1. And now to the only other game of the weekend. It was the Giants up against Collingwood Sunday afternoon. And after a lot of great talk of Collingwood over the preseason and now into their first game, thinking they were going to be the team to rise in 2025, they were well and truly smashed on the day. The Giants win their first game of the season, keep a perfect record in opening round, winning by 52 points. Giants 104, Collingwood 52. Now, there were a couple of injury concerns from this game. First of all, Kieran Briggs suffered a head knock early in the first quarter. He was stuck in an awkward position in a marking contest with his head down, which connected with Sam Taylor's hip, and he was stretchered off the ground. Now, he did have to put a neck brace on when going off on the stretcher, but hopefully that was only precautionary, and he was also sent to the hospital. So hopefully everything's all good for Kieran Briggs, but he won't play next game. And Nick Dacos seemed to have injured his left leg in the third term. However, he did continue to play out the game until the final quarter when the game was well and truly done. Then he was taken off the ground. But you could definitely tell the injury was hampering him for the extent of the time when he was on the field for that part of the game. So I would keep your eyes peeled on the socials to see what comes from the aftermath of the game. So let's get to the game itself. There was a lot of feeling in this game early, but both teams found it really hard to convert in front of goal, particularly Collingwood, and it was really the story of their afternoon. But the Giants pulled away late in the first quarter with 3 late goals to see them lead by 21 points at quarter time. Now, Collingwood fought their way back in the second quarter with the first 3 goals of it, but just when you thought they were going to break in front, the Giants finished with the last 3 goals of the term to lead by 23 points at half time. Now, the third quarter was quite strange. Collingwood dominated large parts of it, but couldn't convert in front of goal, missing chance after chance after chance, and finished with 5 points for the quarter. And at 3-quarter time, the Giants led by over 5 goals. And in the final term, it was pretty rudimentary for GWS. Yes, Collingwood kicked the first goal of the quarter, but it was all Giants from there. They looked fitter, stronger, and the tsunami was well and truly on display. And in the end, the Giants won by 52 points. So the Giants have sent a real message to the competition after this performance. I thought Hawthorn were a very good side on Friday night, but the Giants, well, they're going to be a hard team to beat. I can see now why so many people have predicted them to be up there with premiership favourites early on. A great win from the Giants. Now, Collingwood, I know they've had a lot of injuries, but to be honest, they've had a longer pre-season, and the fact that they got well and truly beaten by a side who had a lesser pre-season and a couple of poor pre-season games, they got well and truly wiped off the park. So Collingwood, a couple of concerns going into round 1 next week. GWS, all guns blazing, and they're going to be a hard team to beat in 2025. So now we'll get to the multiple goal kickers for the Giants. We have 2 goals to Finn Callaghan, Brown, Jones, Grukowski, and O'Halloran. And for Collingwood, 2 goals to Myercheck and Elliott. On the disposal point of view, GWS top disposal getter was Josh Kelly with the 36, Callaghan with the 33, Whitfield with the 26, Ash with the 25, and Ward with the 23. And on Collingwood's side, we got Josh Dacos, 28, Perryman with the 27, Cameron with the 22, Nick Dacos, 21, and Jack Crisp with the 20. On to the AFL Fantasy top 5 for either side. For the Giants, Ash with the 125, Kelly with the 118 along with Sam Taylor, Callaghan with the 110, and then Whitfield with the 99. And for Collingwood, Darcy Cameron top scored for the game with the 136, Perryman with the 90, Josh Dacos with the 88, Crisp with the 81, and then Quaynor in 5th spot with 63. So a lot of lesser lights shown for Collingwood today. But now let's get to the votes for this game. 3 votes went to Sam Taylor, 2 votes went to Finn Callaghan, and the 1 vote went to Josh Kelly. Now, Josh Kelly was very good today, had 36 touches, 8 score involvements, and after the injury-riddled 2024, he looks set to have a massive 2025 for the Giants. Really good to see. Finn Callaghan, I don't know if he's worth 17 million, but what a performance he had. 33 touches, 7 clearances, 12 score involvements, and capped it off with 2 goals. Was very close to the 3 votes. However, I've given it to Taylor. He set the tone early. He kicked the first goal of the game, which was his first goal since 2019, but all day he was a wall that stood against Collingwood. He was absolutely brilliant, Sam Taylor. If he can stay on the field all year, I know he had a lot of injuries heading in 2024, but if he can stay on for 26 games this season, I think the Giants will go a long way to potentially making a premiership run. But guys, that is everything we have for the review today. Of course, it's a bit of a shorter one because there was only 2 games. Get ready for round 1 because finally we'll get every single team a look at all of them. A very interesting opening round. Make sure to let me know down below who you thought the best performing team was from the weekend. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube if you did enjoy it. And if you are over on Spotify, make sure to leave us 5 stars and make sure to leave a follow so you're notified on the podcast and the review every single week. But again, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you all next week.